Morning.
Morning. We are live, special edition of Between the Studs, episode 50.
Oh wow, 5-0.
50. Did you guys ever think we would make it this far?
I didn't think I'd make it to 50 years old.
That's a pessimistic
You're
view.
50 years old?
Way more. Well, not way more. It's a little bit more than 50.
So, this episode is frequently asked questions. We'll wait for some people to jump on. I am setting up the recording for our podcasters so that we can, have this as audio recording as well. That's what this mic is for. So, welcome to Between the Studs, episode 50. And it's all about these two gentlemen here, Chris and Ed. Welcome again. I'll put applause sound effects in there. And I will be keeping track of the chat as well.
If your phone wants to
Yeah.
comply.
There we go. All right. We have Gary Koch. Good morning, everyone. Luke Maxwell. How does Ed like his Cleveland Browns hoodie?
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
And Chilean Lego fan says, welcome. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Brad P says, I'm back. All right. We have a list of our frequently asked questions.
Hold up. When's he coming back to the store? When are you going to come back and see us?
Hey, Brad, when are you gonna come visit us? We miss you.
We might go see him.
Oh, that's right.
We haven't told him yet, but
We'll just show up one day.
Knock on the door. Hey, it's us.
Alrighty. So, how's the Italian mafia treating you, Ed?
Wow.
that's John Snyder. Don't
Yeah,
don't
I can't
reply.
say anything. The FBI's got me on lockdown.
He's in the witness protection.
Yeah, the trial's still pending. I gotta wait.
Oh, Jonathan Snyder is on. That is actually John asking
Definitely
that
a
question.
John Snyder
Okay.
question.
All right. So we have our own list of frequently asked questions, and you guys chime in if you want your own questions answered, or if you want them to go into more detailed about their answers in no particular order. We're just gonna start on these two lists and just go through. You guys ready?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
guys ready?
And
Okay.
we do, just a little background, we do get the same questions all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that's pretty common with anything.
Yeah.
When you go to these Lego conventions, there's a list of questions that people ask about their mocks all the time, and they have them pre-filled out sometimes, and frequently asked questions, and they have all those answers.
Yes.
How long did it take you to build that mock? How many pieces are in that mock? Usually it says I have no idea.
Yeah. I don't know how you would know that
Yeah.
unless you're really
Yeah.
keeping track. Well, we'll go back and forth from the chat to what I have here. How did you guys meet?
Well, it was the first time would have been at New York Comic Con in maybe 2013,
Yeah, that's about right.
and so we both lived in Noonan, about 2 to 3 miles apart.
1.5 maybe.
And he just happened to be at New York Comic Con. I think that was something that you just always wanted to do.
Yeah, I always wanted to do it. Had an opportunity. I had a connection up there to. I like to kill two birds with one stone. I don't just like to go one place just to do one thing. So I had a guy I was buying some Lego from up there. And I said, "Hey, it's the same time the Comic Con's going on. Let me check out the Comic Con, and I can visit my sister." So got to do a bunch of things at one time. I walk through and I look at these booths, and I saw these really cool looking Daleks that we still sell.
Yeah.
Some were bigger, some were awesome. And I'm like, wow. And I was looking at the prices of his Lego minifigs. I'm going, yeah, that's what I'd sell that one for. Mm-hmm. That's what I'd sell that one for. Okay. No deals for me. But he had them priced perfectly, exactly like I would do it. And I spoke to his wife, and I said, I love your Daleks. These are amazing. You know, they were pleasant. They said, thank you. And Chris was moving. He was working back and forth, and I thought nothing of it. I look up and it said Atlanta Brick Co., and I never put two and two together because that's me. I don't put two and two together. And I just kept going on, and it wasn't until like a year or two later that I said, "Hey, that was you at the Comic Con."
Yeah, so then we met again at his yard sale.
Mm-hmm.
My son was into Pokemon at the time, and the guy was selling a big stuff. Well, not the guy, Ed.
That guy, that weird guy.
I'm the guy. I'm that guy.
Ed was selling a huge Pikachu or something. I don't know.
Yeah, some
Stuffed animal plush toy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, how much for that? And we bought that for my son. And then he had the DS game cases that were almost worthless. They're with the Lego
Yeah.
DS game cases.
Some
I think
G.I.
we
Joe.
still have them sitting around somewhere.
1 or 2 are left, I think.
And he was, I mean, you almost gave them to me. I mean, they were just so cheap. You know, he took out the minifigure and the game cases. So he was like, hey, I got more Lego in the basement. You want to see it? So then we just kind of set up a partnership with buying and selling from each other and going in on lots together. I showed him how to use Bricklink. He had a whole studio set up in his basement for taking pictures. Looked great. And then, like a year later, we put 2 and 2 together, and it was like, yeah, he had seen us before at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
In New York, of all places.
Yeah.
So that is a kind of a small story.
Going to the chat, Ed, do you miss Philly?
Nope.
Favorite set or theme of all time?
So that's a common question. We do get a lot. And my themes change just like a kid's. I go from one thing to
I do
another to another
too.
to another. Depending on what's out, what I'm reading. Usually whatever I'm reading about, I'm into. And I'm usually reading about castles and Vikings. So I stay pretty into the castle theme, I would say. So castle has to be my favorite.
Anything historical, really, like Vikings, castles, stuff like
Yeah.
that. Do you have a favorite set?
Ooh.
We can come back to you if
Yeah.
you want to answer that
Helm's
one.
Deep
back
is
on
my
that.
favorite.
Helm's
set.
Deep,
I
yeah.
love Helm's Deep, and it's really not a lot to it, but there's a lot to it, if you know what I mean.
Well, it looks good with the curved
Yeah.
wall and the multi-layered. Man,
That reminds of Moria. I just
Yeah.
love the Lord of the Rings theme, but
Tower of Orthanc, maybe.
or think,
Yeah.
yeah. But I like the modulars. I love the way they're made, and I like the cars. Of course, I like the cars. You know, the big ones, the Technic, Porsche, Ferrari, Lambo, Bugatti. Yeah, they're great. Don't have any at home. Don't have the room.
Geology Joe says good morning from California.
Geology Joe.
So we got someone from Chile, from California,
We'll trade
from
Lego
Florida.
for some gems, Joe.
Definitely. I could use a geode or two.
Yeah.
We have gems. We can trade.
Yeah, we have the Lego
The
geodes.
Lego
Yeah.
gems. No, real one.
And then the Chilean Lego fan asked if we prefer Blacktron 1 or 2. I would have to say Blacktron 2. I love Blacktron 1,
Okay.
but I would have to say Blacktron 2 just because they have the logo, whereas Blacktron 1 didn't have
Yeah.
as distinctive a logo.
What's
He just had
his
the
name from
triangle.
Chile? What's his name?
I don't know his actual name.
His name is
Chilean
Chilean
Lego
Lego
fan.
fan.
Chilean. Are you? If you're still in Chile, give us a reason to come down and visit you, please. I want
Can
to
we
see
have
Santiago.
a conference? Can we have a Lego
maybe he's
conference?
got this huge
make
collection
sure
we
you-
can do a YouTube video on.
Yeah.
We can
Just
go
make
see-
sure you bring your jacket.
Yeah, it can
Because
get
it's
cold.
chilly.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Now it gets cold in the summer.
It gets cold in the
In
summer.
our
there?
summer, it's cold over there.
Okay. Somebody, Lizard HD says, "Who is Joe?" That's what I always ask. Who is this Joe?
Joe.
This Atlanta Brick Joe. Who is he? Why is he important?
He's an enigma.
And Brad P has an important question. It's Disney train station.
Oh, do we have it?
No, I think Brad's saying that's his favorite set.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I think Brad's biased though.
Don't we have it?
Yeah, he works for Disney. He's a
Yeah.
security guard.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
retired. He retired from another industry, but he works for Disney as a security guard right
Yeah.
now, part time. So big friend of the store. So hello, all these people, all these great people are friends of the store.
Can
So
you give us some deals into getting in? You know.
oh,
Maybe
Joe
open the back
Mama,
door?
that's who Joe is. Joe
Okay.
Mama. Okay.
Oh wow, we've got Chad is on here all the ways from Marietta, Georgia. Good morning, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
I'm trying to look at other related questions, so I'm jumping down the list a little bit. What was the point that you guys said, okay, let's open a store together? What was the catalyst for
Well,
that?
Ed always was saying, "Hey, we should open a retail store." And I've got my master's degree in business, and everything inside my soul and brain said, "Never open a retail store." I mean,
Was that something you learned in business school?
Yeah.
it's just I have a lot of common sense.
Yeah.
Too much common sense to
Yeah.
open a retail store.
Yeah.
And I mean, you look at KB Toys, you look at
Internet is the
The,
way to sell.
Yeah.
Toys R Us, and you just look at the sheer costs
The
of
brick and
having
mortar.
a
Yeah.
brick and mortar store. But Ed had actually John Snyder working in his garage.
And his brother, Alex.
He met Ed. He met John through me because John was family friends.
He was this big at the time.
Yeah.
And now he's this big.
No, he's taller than me.
And so Ed needed a place for his employees to use the restroom or just to get heating and air conditioning. And so I was at that point as well, and I was like, because I wouldn't even let anybody come and work in my garage. So we were like, well, we could go in together on a storage unit that had heating and air and a bathroom, and people could, people could come in and work in better conditions. But we also had a glass window in the front, so it was like, oh, let's set it up like a warehouse where
That people
can
could come in.
Let's put a
Come
cash
into.
register in there. Let's bring people in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once I got that bug for setting up a
Storefront.
storefront, it just
It took off
Okay.
from there.
took off. Yeah.
Chris was like, "Let's do parties. Let's get a pick a brick table. Let's do build a fig. Let's do workshops." And it just blew up.
I was discussing this with somebody. For a business owner, it takes a certain type of brain that is okay with risks. I think.
Yeah.
I think that's why I would never open a store, because even if I had the knowledge and know-how because my personality, I'm not a risk taker. I think you have to have some part in your brain that's willing to put either a lot of money or a lot of something of yourself on the line. And I think that's what makes a lot of business people successful, is because there's something in them that's okay jumping off that cliff,
Well,
not knowing if the water is going to be freezing or boiling.
you take the biggest risks. 9 out of 10 businesses fail when they start. If you are a business person, you've probably opened up 2 or 3 businesses already that have failed, or you closed them up, or something happened. I know I had a few before I had this one. Some were very successful. I just closed one down because I had to move.
Yeah.
So I mean, that is what it is. But yeah, you're taking a lot of risk, but you also have the opportunity to take the reward as well.
Yes.
People don't
biggest
understand that.
risk, biggest reward.
What I've seen is also, I had friends that would go into business and people that would go into business together. Partnerships are very difficult. And what I've noticed in a lot of these partnerships is there's always that one guy that busts his butt and everybody else just sits around and either spends the money and doesn't do anything, and the company goes under. I've seen that many times, where people think that other people are going to work for them. That's not how a business works. Unless, of course, you open a McDonald's up, it's a franchise, it already has its own system set up, and you get a bunch of kids working for you. But when you own a business like this, the business owns you.
Yes. Speaking of franchise, let's just segue into that, because we get this question all the time. This is a frequently asked question. Are you guys ever going to open up another store, maybe North Atlanta or Mid-Atlanta, or will you guys ever franchise?
We talked about it.
Maybe it really takes the right people to franchise.
And yeah.
I have no desire to travel to another store or manage another store or be responsible for another store. We don't make enough money as it is to not have fun and make it, if this is too much of a business for us, which it's almost getting to that point, where all I spend my time doing is running payroll or paying taxes or insurance or financing. If it gets to that point, then the fun gets sucked out of it. And that's one of the reasons why we're doing this.
Plus, we want to get our systems together. We want to make sure that we have a good system going. There's a rule in business. pigs get fat, but hogs get slaughtered. And you try to grow too fast, too big, you will wind up losing everything. Everything will just collapse underneath you, will implode. So you just got to do it slowly. We did talk about opening something up in Alpharetta, but we're just not ready.
Yeah. And it would take, like, you'd almost need, I would think, and maybe I'm totally wrong, you would need someone you trust that lives on that side of the city.
Well, I would probably go up there and
Okay.
do that portion, but we want to be far enough apart to where we're not going to be competing against
Yes.
one another. And you want to be close enough to where if I needed a set or they need pieces and back and forth, we
Yeah.
won't be that far away to where you don't have to take a plane to go
Yeah.
and exchange sets or whatever.
Plus, it would be like an Atlanta Brick Co. Express.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't be,
A satellite store.
you know, I wouldn't want somebody to go inside and say, this is Atlanta Brick Co. It's not as big as it looks
Yeah.
on the YouTube channel, you
Yeah.
know. But to open a store and immediately have it that large, it would be difficult.
Yeah.
So.
And man, if people traded in
Expensive.
half-built sets, they couldn't be inventoried there. They would have to be shipped here.
Right.
So there's logistical issues of getting sets there, and like, what do we put up there? What do we keep down here?
Correct.
Yeah. So the answer is
You don't,
maybe in the future.
Maybe.
and you don't open retail toy stores to make money. It's fun,
Yeah.
and you're doing it as a passion and as a hobby.
Yeah. Yep. Brad P says, he asks, as a fellow Harley lover, what is your favorite type of bike?
Well, I have the Road King. It's a special edition Road King. I love it. I really like the Road Glide. That's a very nice bike. At first, I didn't like something with a fairing in front of it because to me it's like a car with no roof and no doors. So that's why I chose the Road King, because I can pull the windshield off and just ride open bars, especially down in Florida. I really enjoy the open air. So I guess I'll have to say the Road King is my favorite. It's a cruiser. It looks more like a motorcycle, and you can go from here to Sturgis with it, like I did. It's a lot of fun.
All right. Going back to my list, a frequently asked question, and this is more sarcastic and garnering or trying to pull an explanation out of you guys. We get this question all the time. Do you have fill in latest set?
Yeah, right now it's the Home Alone set.
Okay.
Oh, we have it?
So
No, do you have? Is
No,
what
no.
people
Yeah.
always
Oh,
ask.
Yeah.
people call, you know, anytime the newest set comes out and the Lego store doesn't have it because everybody's out buying it up, we just start getting phone calls left and right. Hey, do you have the Home Alone set right now, or the Titanic set? And after Christmas, that'll stop.
We need to do a pre-recorded message before the store picks up. Thanks for calling Atlanta Brick Co. Our hours are from 10 to 8 every day, Sundays 1 to 6. And that would stop, I'd say, 50% of the phone calls. And then you would say, and we do not have the Home Alone set. Sorry.
That would stop the other
That would
50.
stop 75% of phone calls.
Okay.
And then if you want to complain about Ed, press 1. Your whole time is 30 minutes.
I have had phone calls on my cell phone complaining about Ed. We
Yeah.
won't. We will not get into details.
We could. We can.
No, we can't.
I want to know. That's an off-air discussion. Brad P likes the 1983 Wide Glide.
Oh, yeah.
Brian Johnson, he's excited to visit the store with his family from Costa Rica.
Oh wow.
Cool.
That'll
All
be
right.
fun. I spoke to him. He was in the store, I believe. If that was the same gentleman, I forget his name, and I'm sorry, but I believe that was the same
I think
gentleman
so,
I
yeah.
spoke to. So we can't wait to see you guys. So come on. Now, why don't we have? This seems like a silly question if you're not familiar with our store, but if for those of you who may not, why don't we have the latest sets from Lego? Darn it! Why aren't our shelves filled with these
Well-
brand new Lego sets?
So we are not a Lego retailer. That's the answer. Okay. And we're not a Lego retailer because, well, we didn't even try the first 5 years of being in business. We've been in business for 6 years now as a storefront. So we didn't even try to become a Lego retailer because we heard that they don't really care to turn on small one-off businesses. They want chain stores like Michael's or Five Below to carry their products.
Big
right?
box stores.
Big box stores or chain stores. So if they did turn us on, it would be like a 20% discount. And I did talk to a one-off store recently that was a retailer for Lego, and I said, well, so what's the discount? Is it like 25%? And he was like, oh no, it's not that high. And I was like,
Really?
so I mean, by the time we've sold it and we have to pay our own taxes on that, income taxes on it, then
We'd be owing money.
we wouldn't be making any money.
Yeah.
Plus, when people are, I would say probably about 25% of the people that come in here are trading for things. So if they're trading and they decide to get a brand new sealed Lego set that we just got 20% off retail price on, then we would lose money on that as well.
Yeah.
Even more money. So,
And if you did work with Lego, you can't cherry pick.
apparently you can't cherry pick.
They just send you whatever.
I guess,
They
but
give you a list.
so in that regard, we wouldn't want to be a Lego retailer. But I did inquire about being a Lego retailer, and they told us that they can't turn any resellers on that sell nothing but Lego.
You have to have something
You have to
else.
have other products.
Got it.
So, and that drives me crazy mentally, because it's like you go into Joanne Fabrics has Lego, Michaels has Lego, Big Lots
Kohl's.
has Lego, Kohl's has Lego. They don't know anything about it.
But they're allowed to sell it. And
They
we're
don't
not.
know. They don't know how to market it or represent it. And they're bad. They're very bad ambassadors of the brand. Because the employees, if you go into certain box stores, you get very bad service, and so it just kind of makes their brand look bad. Whereas here we are promoting it, but they won't let us sell it.
Why do you think that? Do you think that's because they can't control the entirety of our product, and that's why? Because we sell nothing but
No.
Lego as a. Why do you think that rule exists?
I don't know. In Europe, they have certified Lego stores. So rather than Lego opening up a Lego brand store, they have a store like ours, and they give them certain rules, I guess, and they call them certified Lego stores. And they do that in other countries
Moscow
as well.
has 25.
Yeah. Yeah, Moscow has the world's most Lego brand stores.
That blows me
Yeah.
away.
And I think the reason why here in the United States they have distributors that work for Lego, and they get a commission from the sales, so they go after the big box stores. How many Targets do we have in the United States?
Yeah.
Thousands. So you're going to sell this many units to Target. You're going to sell thousands of units to Kohl's, Five Below, Walmart. And here comes Ed and Chris. Who are these guys? What do
Yeah.
they got? How much you want to spend? 10 grand. That's it?
So you said the discount that a retailer gets is less than 25%.
From what I understand.
What is
that's
industry
just
standard?
That's hearsay.
Okay, I always thought industry standard was around 50 for other products. What is the industry standard?
We're not a big box store, so we don't know what kind of percentage they enjoy.
And
Okay.
estimate it to
But-
be about 30 to 40%.
When we resell other people's products, we get 30 to 40%.
Okay.
And-
what I mean is they pay 30 or 40% of its value. That's my guess.
Oh, so like when
that's what
Target buys a lamp direct from distributor, they're at a 70% discount. Is
Walmart,
what you're saying.
Walmart will have on the shelf $100 sets. They used to do this, okay? Then they go markdown clearance at 50% of that cost.
They're
So
still
that
making
$100
money.
They're still making money. How do you
Yeah.
think they keep those lights on?
Yeah.
They don't give stuff
I
away.
don't think
ever.
I don't think Walmart or the big box stores are getting that much of a discount on it.
Really?
I don't
Okay.
think so.
Huh.
I think they're deciding to lose money at that point.
Okay.
Really?
And
Okay.
so even with Michael's craft store, if you're a member, like a rewards member, all the time you get receipts or coupons in the mail that say buy one get one free any product, except they're less margin products, and
Yeah.
Lego is
Always.
always on there,
Yes.
so you can't get that discount on that product.
Maybe because they have a different relationship with the store, because sometimes you rent shelf space from these big box stores. And that
Yeah.
could be another way they do it.
Okay.
They just want to waste their time with us.
Interesting. Going back to the chat, just so you guys know we're still paying attention. This is not a frequently asked question, but it's an interesting one. Is there a set or an IP you guys want to see in Lego? intellectual property that they have not done, or a specific set of something you guys want Lego to do?
I like to see something other than a Naboo starfighter being made for Star Wars themes. You know, more of the expanded universe characters and minifigs than another Obi-Wan Kenobi or Luke Skywalker. That'd be nice.
Castle.
More castle.
So people ask, what's your favorite Lego set? I can't say that there's any one. I see a lot of mocks and castles at these conventions. That's what really is eye-popping to me. And then you look at a Lego set, and it's like, you know, it's like even the Lego modular buildings are not impressive compared to what we see at Lego conventions. You know, so individual builders can do so much better job using more parts.
Yeah.
So to me, I feel like the best Lego set and my favorite Lego set hasn't come out yet, but it will. And it's just going to be a big old castle.
Yeah.
You know, and that's
$300. Like,
I think it would have to be more than that.
okay.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think it would be up in that UCS range of
Okay.
$500 plus.
The
Oh,
fishing
wow.
shack was a really nice set. Had a lot of detail with
Yeah.
interesting elements in it. Some things like that are really cool.
This doesn't really answer that question, but the theme, I would love to come back using modern pieces, adventures. I would love
Wow.
adventures to come
Okay.
back and completely redo it. Bring back Johnny Thunder, bring back all those cool jungle and temples and all the weird vehicles. I would love for that
I'm
to
right
come
there
back.
with you. I really like the backstories.
Yes.
And I would like to watch a cartoon because I know they wouldn't make a live action movie.
Blimps and elephants.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Our frequently asked question: are you guys hiring?
I thought you were just reading that off the thing. We do get that question every day, and it kind of comes and it goes. Our volume is like this. I mean, it's very sporadic.
He's moving his hand up and down for those of you on the podcast.
Yeah, sorry. So, you know, we could have we could sell bulk Lego all day long, but we can't have it coming in the store all day long. You know, it's so we can sort it, and then there's nothing to sort. So we've put our sorters doing something else, like sorting minifigures or something like that. So you never know.
Yeah.
We might be hiring, we might not. What can you do?
Yeah.
So what we do is tell people to fill out our employment application on our website. If you go to the About Us page underneath the map, or the Contact Us page, underneath the map, there's a link that says employment application. I just tell people to fill that out, and we'll contact you when we are hiring.
It's
Okay.
nice to know Lego. And I don't mean, oh, I build stuff. No. It's nice to know what elements are, how to find certain elements, to know what's what in Lego, not just I know how to build. You got to know more than that.
Now, what I've heard, correct me if I'm wrong, if I misheard, but I thought I heard you say we're always hiring for inventory specialists. But that is a very difficult job with a
Right.
very
Yeah.
specific
Correct.
mindset.
Yeah, and I hate.
Is
and
that true?
Most of our inventoriers that are good are not Lego fans, and they don't know a whole lot about Lego. Most of them are detail oriented, almost like an accountant. In fact, one of our inventoriers is in college to be an accountant right
Yeah.
now. And it's a very tedious job. You've got to have good eyesight. One of our inventoriers was colorblind, and we didn't know that until after we started
Wow.
trying them out.
I'm half
And-
blind and I do it. I've done a few sets. I'm waiting.
We
for
always
some
double check
feedback.
his, though. We always
No,
double
you
check.
don't. No, you don't. Don't do that. I put my card. I autograph my card and I throw it in the box.
There's no easy way to inventory a Lego
Yeah.
set, and it's hard when people ask are we hiring, and we're looking for inventoriers, but we don't want to offend them because a lot of people can't inventory.
Yeah.
I'm not a great inventorier. Ed's not a great inventorier.
I'm pretty good.
It takes
I gotta toot my own horn.
totally focused attention.
Someone's got to.
Yeah, I got it.
It takes totally focused attention to get
Yeah.
the parts right, and
Well, and those those younger fans may not understand this, but Lego has slightly modified pieces over time, and we take that certified seal very seriously. So
Even the logos on top of the bricks.
when we inventory an older set, it has to be the accurate pieces for that set.
Right.
We're
Light
not
bluish
going to
gray
trade.
versus gray.
Yeah.
Dark bluish gray versus dark gray. You got to know your colors. You got to know your shades. You got to know your
The
elements.
stickers have to be
Stickers.
good.
Yeah.
I mean,
The-
and it's all
pieces have
very
to not be
difficult.
broken.
The different minifig
Yeah.
tops on the heads, even if it's the same print on the face, it has to be the correct. Is it the one with the hole in the head? Is it the one that's solid? Is it the one with
Yeah.
the divot? You have to have that exactly correct. It doesn't matter if it's the right face print. It has to be the right part too.
And then is this part too scratched up to use?
Yes.
Or will it pass? Is this white brick discolored too much to use, or can it pass? So yeah, there's a lot involved.
So sorry, some people are asking, do we have this? Do we have that? But I will go into. How about this one? How about this one? Is this for sale? Is blank for sale? So basically, do we sell anything in the store that you see?
Yeah, actually, we just sold the Jurassic Perk out of our city.
Nice!
With the T-Rex dinosaur that comes out.
Oh,
that
I like
Mark
that one.
built that one, and it's got the claw that comes out. So there's a big blank spot in our city right now. Somebody actually, I think they were in Texas, and they called the store and bought it over the phone.
How'd they see it? From the YouTube?
Probably
Yeah.
on our YouTube
Okay.
Probably.
streams,
Live
yeah.
stream or
And that was my favorite thing because there's a backstory behind that. You know, when Mark came back from Lego Masters, before he went, he really wasn't the best at using Technic bricks or power functions. You know, he was just, his average, right? And when he came back from Lego Masters, he was like really good at
Rock
it. But I
star.
didn't know that yet. And I was like, hey, can you make something that moves? And maybe the dinosaur coming out of the building, and he was like, oh yeah, easy, no problem. And I'm like, since when? And he made that, and he knocked it out of the park
Yeah.
first try.
We sold a lot of modulars out of that case.
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
Pawn Shop. It's CrossFit Cafe.
Yeah, they both sold it.
Headsets are pretty popular.
Yeah.
Brad P says our bandwidth fell off. We gotta. Oh, it's very
Sorry.
pixelated. Yeah, we try. So is there anything you famously said? I don't know how much you were joking, and how much you weren't, but you famously said one time that the big, large display cutouts that we have, those 4.5 foot tall, like Aquaman, and you are not willing to sell those. Is that really true?
Yeah.
Or is there
Well, yeah,
a price you would let that go for?
I am willing to sell those now, actually, because we just got a lot more in.
Okay.
And we just don't have a place to put them. You can't see inside the studio right now, but there's
They're full
actually
of
cutouts
Don't sell Iron Man.
everywhere,
Iron Man
all over
stays.
the place.
That's one of the smaller ones, the
Yeah.
Iron Man.
Yeah, but I like it.
But we just don't have the. We need the space
Yeah.
in the store, but we can't afford it. We just don't have it. We can't find it.
One day
so-
we're going to want these. One day we're going to need them.
and we won't be able to get them.
Right.
You're right. Yeah.
So so the answer is yes, but typically no, or maybe. is
Yes,
the
but
answer.
it will cost
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. And when they're sitting out, like we've got Aquaman over by the door there. He's behind the counter, but he's by the door. Somebody, and I'm not going to say it was a kid, but somebody has taken a pen and poked holes in his face.
Ah,
And it's like, it may be better off in someone else's collection rather than hanging around the store.
yeah. Okay. Give it a good home.
So that's why these cutouts are all in Justin's studio right now.
Yeah, they're safe in here. I'm not gonna poke them with holes. Was there ever an item? This is for me. This is not a frequently asked question, but this is for me. Was there ever an item that you liked so much, being Lego fans, that you really didn't want to sell, or something like that was so cool it was hard to let go and walk out the door?
I've got it in my head that we are going to see everything again someday.
Okay.
Me
so
too.
I don't have a problem selling anything. And it, part of it is the hunt and the anticipation of
Correct.
getting it. Recently, we had the Nesquik bunny, and we got that because I was telling one of our customers and a friend of mine that I was looking for. He said, "Is there anything you want?" And I was like, "Well, I've never had the Nesquik bunny." The next day, he gets me at a Lego convention. He gets me the next Nesquik bunny, and I was like, "Oh man, this is fantastic." And he has a price attached to him. And you said in your haul video, I think, that we got the Nesquik bunny.
Yeah.
Somebody walked in the store the next day and bought him before we could even put him out for sale.
Yeah.
And, we had him for like a second.
Yeah.
And, but it's part of the hunt and not having it that makes you want it,
Yes.
right? So, yeah, I have no problem selling anything.
Yeah, I had to learn that in the car business because I love cars, and you cannot get emotional and fall in love with the product too much that you will A, spend more money on it than you should, and B, never let it go. That's why I tell people, if you're a big Lego fan, you love Lego, you're crazy about Lego, you might want to consider opening up a store because you're never going to sell the stuff you get in. You have to separate yourself from that product and allow yourself to sell it at the market price and feel good about it. And like Chris said, I'm the same way. I'm never going to see it again. It's the hunt. That's what makes it fun.
This was a question in the chat, and it's also a frequently asked question on my list. So, what is the most expensive item / minifigure in the store?
Right now, or have been?
Either.
The
Both.
most expensive minifigure we have right now is the Cloud City Boba Fett, and his price is fluctuating a lot. 2 years ago, we sold him for $350, maybe 3 years ago. A year ago, we sold him for $600. Right now, ours is brand new condition. He's $2,000, but it's hard to tell if that's a real price or not. But you cannot buy him, and he has sold for that. He's sold for $2,000 in the past 6 months. But it's hard to tell if that's a real price or not until somebody actually buys him for that.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he has sold for that much money. So.
And then the most expensive thing, period, in the store is the book, right?
Yes.
That's actually more expensive. It's above the Boba Fett, right?
Yeah, there's the white Boba Fett exclusive book. It comes with it's a artwork book of the Clone Wars, and it's the original white Boba Fett and the book, and that's a pretty rare combo. There's no telling how many were made, but that is, how much is that? Like 2,500?
It's
3,000?
25, 23,
Yeah.
something like that.
Which it's sold for more than that in the past, so that's a real price.
Is there a really expensive item that stands out in your mind through the history of the store?
To the history of the store, well, we had some Comic-Con figures, minifigures that were just through the roof. I mean, what, $1,500 a pop?
Yeah,
for
well, they're
one was-
probably more than that now.
Yeah, now they're more than
Yeah.
that, and we have a collector that comes in and buys those from us. We had Greg Nicotero. He's the producer of The Walking Dead. He was actually our first customer when we opened our store.
Really?
Yeah,
6 years
yeah.
ago.
Well, it was funny. We met him at New York Comic Con as well, and he saw the sign that said Atlanta Brick Co. He's like, "Oh, what part of Atlanta are you in?" "I'm in Atlanta too," and we were like, "Oh, we're in Noonan," and he's like, "Oh, I'm in Noonan." And we didn't know why he was in Noonan, but he was in Noonan because he was filming The Walking Dead.
Well, we got to be friends with them, and his son Devin is in San Diego Comic-Con. He's texting me. He goes, "Ed, I'm at the Comic-Con. What would you like me to get here for you guys?" And I'm like giving him a list.
Everything. Give me everything.
Everything.
He stood in line for 5 hours and got us Deadpool duck.
Yes.
Super cool.
Yeah,
They're
I wish
really
I wish
wonderful
we
people.
still had him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Deadpool duck skyrocketed in price,
Yeah.
but he just looks so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a really neat figure.
And of course, we gave him Lego for it. We didn't just say, "Oh, thanks. See you later."
Yeah.
They were
And,
just wonderful people.
The most expensive thing I can think of off the top of my head was the original UCS Millennium Falcon sealed in its box before the new one came out, like a year before the new one came out. We sold for $3,500.
Yeah.
Was there anything more expensive than that?
I was thinking the modular, the corner cafe, but those were only $2,800 only.
Only.
Brand new seal.
Yeah.
And those went. I was surprised. I mean, things like that do stay in the store a little bit longer than they normally would for other products, but people buy them, and when I hear that they're going to open up the seal and they're going to build it, I cringe. I just deep inside, I'm cringing. I'm like, oh, don't you want something that's already built? We can unbuild it for you, and you can build it again. Why would you want to open up that seal and just because there goes the value? It's like taking a new car off the lot, and then you lose $2,000.
Yeah.
At least the minute you drive it off the lot.
Yeah,
But hey.
I am a builder, not a collector. So I would, if I found my white whale set, I would build it. I would crack that seal open. I would throw the box away or sell it back to you guys. I would do it.
Justin, you're not a collector?
I am a collector. Yeah.
Behind Justin is all these minifigs
Of
and sets.
dusts.
One of every
yeah.
minifigure in that type series.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, if you're listening, I need to apologize. I was asked last Saturday if we had the T-Rex, UCS T-Rex built.
Oh.
And I'm walking all over the store looking for it. And he says, I saw it on your podcast, whatever. I'm like, I can't see it. I don't know where it is. I think we sold it. Now I'm looking at it. I'm sorry, man.
It's here if you want it.
Justin
it's
has
for sale.
one of every T-Rex here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
in the
almost.
store.
That's not every,
Yeah.
and they're not all complete. So that's
Okay.
why they're here. All right, so Brian Johnson, he told me he's a big board game fan. When
Brian
he came
Johnson, singer of the AC/DC, man. He's
That's
awesome.
might be the same one, probably not.
Well, I've met him before. He's a super nice guy.
Aside from the already released board games, would Lego ever do heavier board games with minifigures like Zombicide or Descent? Board games plus Lego could make something special. I like board games.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll ever do board games again. I don't think they'll do anything heavy. I think that they would keep it to the very kid-friendly, very easy, very make up your own rules kind of thing. There was apparently a leaked image of a new Lego Games picture, a logo. Some people are speculating that they are bringing back Lego board games. Some people are thinking, no, it's going to be a video game. I don't know. So
I think it's going to be more along the electronic, virtual reality style games. We'll know soon.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what, February? It's
I
coming out.
will say this: board games, like all hobbies, have skyrocketed since the pandemic. More people are into board games than they were 2 years ago. Board games are super high demand.
Keeps you from murdering your siblings.
That's right. That's right. So if Lego did do board games again, I think there would be profit in it. But to think about them doing a more adult or more higher age range, I don't think they would. I think they would keep it for the kids.
You do see Lego board games on Kickstarter, though, so independent companies like us could come out with a Lego board game and put it on Kickstarter. So
I'm going to start developing one right
if
now.
you
I just can't say Lego.
if you are looking for some to buy, I would check out Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his side gig. He's the lead singer.
Awesome.
Of this.
Dude, you rock.
That's his side gig. So what's his main thing he does?
Lego fan.
Yeah,
Collector.
yeah, that's right. Why do we offer half value for cash but full value for trade?
Number one, it just keeps it easy. We used to do actual value for, like this specific set, I'll give you this much in trade and like 25% of it as cash. With this one, I'd give you this in trade, but 75% of it in cash because this one's a hotter set than this one and I can sell it quicker, right? But that calculation is all up in, it's very speculative.
Subjective.
And, that's in Ed and I's heads, whereas our employees, to make it easy, it's just half the value. Also, it's for our customers, it makes it easy, half the value. So just for simpleness. So we might do better on some and worse on others, but it's easy for everybody.
Yeah.
And it also gives you an incentive to want to trade with us because that's what we would like you to do. But we'd rather trade you product than spend cash on product because that's just more money out of our pocket. That's more capital that we have to throw out there to sell more sets. So it takes a lot longer for us to see a return on that. We want to give you an incentive to get more value from your product so you can trade it in. Especially if you're a Lego person, you come in here because you want to buy more Lego with it. So it behooves you to want to go for the store credit than you would for the cash. So it's an incentive there.
And what's neat is people are not Lego fans, and a lot of times that's why they come in to sell us their collections, because they're just out of Lego, but they've never been in our store before. So as soon as they start walking around,
Yeah.
they come back. It's, you ask them when they come in the door, you want to sell it or trade it? Oh, sell it. I don't want anything to do with Lego anymore. Okay, well, let me get a value. And they start walking around and they come back and it's like, okay, I can buy it for this much, but I'll give you this much in store credit.
That happened Saturday.
Oh, I'll take the store credit.
Yeah. Then they end up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we turn a lot of people into Lego fans. Because you walk around, I mean, it's so cool looking.
Yeah.
When I tell people locally about the store, I'll say, hey, do you like Lego? And they're like, no. I mean, it's neat, but no, I'm not a Lego fan. Well, you should still come in the store and just look, because chances are Lego has something for everybody. Whether you like flower bouquets or Star Wars. I mean, who doesn't like Star Wars,
I don't like Jar Jar.
Star Wars or Lord of the Rings or Indiana Jones. Chances are Lego is going to have something for you.
And a lot of people tell me that's what the draw is of our store over even a large flagship official Lego store, is that it's kind of like a museum too.
Yep.
It has we have these large cutouts. You never know what you're going to see in
It
here.
recharges your imagination, your inspiration to build more Lego, and your love for the product. Because you walk in here, it's visual overload. There's so much to see. Sometimes I tell people, walk in, look around, walk outside, take a 5-minute break, and then come back inside, and you will not see the same things.
Yeah. This frequently asked question, if I give you a list of parts, can you guys find them for me?
Getting parts for people is an important part of what we do. We always want to fill parts lists. We always want to get those parts for people. You can't get those parts at any other store, So we try our best to do that for people. But sometimes they fall through the cracks because it is hard. And we're really not making any money finding parts for people.
Yeah.
So it's something that we want to do with a smile, but it's challenging because we'll have the phone will be ringing. We'll have other customers that want to buy something,
Especially on the weekends. It's
that we
badass.
are making money on. A lot of people can only come here on weekends because they work during the week, right? So they come on a weekend and they have parts they want to find, and we try to keep extra people on staff just to find parts for people, but we really don't make any money finding parts. I mean, we're paying somebody hourly to look for a 10-cent part.
Yeah.
Well, here's a good piece of advice. If you are coming here to look for parts, we have a huge pick-a-brick table, and it's best for you to look on that table for the parts that you need, because a lot of the parts that you need are usually common. The stuff we keep in the back are the uncommon parts. But come in here willing to spend at least a couple hours looking for the parts that you need, and you will save a lot of money getting the parts out of that table. It's a 20-foot long pick-a-brick table. We have millions of parts in there. A lot of people come in asking for a 2x4, 1x2, and I'm like, dude, it's on the table. Let's go pick it on the table.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have the time. Well, I don't want to do the work. So, well, I got 20 people at the counter, and we got a store full of people. I'll see what I can do. Let me see if I can get some time to look for that. But in the meantime, you can go over there and just pick it out. And sometimes, no, not sometimes, all the time, I'll walk over to the table. It takes me a few seconds, and I find that part. That's just me. But I can find. Now, one time I did this. A guy was looking for a rare part, and I go, well, it's usually on the table. So what I did was I walked in the back. I picked up the part from the back, kept it in my hand, and I walked over to the table, rustled around, and go, look, here it is. It's right here. See, everybody? See? And I just let the secret out just now.
Okay,
Yep.
here's my secret. I do the same thing, but I find it behind their ear. And I'll be like,
I'm
you
not a
had this
magician."
part behind your ear the whole time.
You should wash more often. You need to do that one time with something ridiculous like that big lime green gear.
Well, okay, I did. I just did it this week. So at our Christmas party, we did the Dirty Santa, and the most popular gift was a metal gold banana. About this big, a little over 12 inches.
Yeah.
And it's big and heavy, and it's awesome, right? And Mark ended up getting it. He just had to have it. And so Mark's got it on his desk, and one of our employees was looking for something, and Mark was looking for the banana because our employees like to hide it from him. And I went over to one of our employees and I said, pulled the banana out from behind his ear. I was like, it was right here all along.
Magician. He's a magician.
Yeah.
Let's see. How long have you guys been open?
6 years, right?
It was 2015,
Thanksgiving.
Black Friday.
Yeah, Thanksgiving.
I think the Wednesday before Thanksgiving we opened up.
We tried to open up, August or September?
Yeah, but
And it kept being delayed.
yeah, there's
delayed,
always delays
pushed
and
back.
stuff.
We needed a wall built. We had a 3-bay transmission shop that we were converting into like a warehouse. And we figured, well, you know what? Let's just do 2 bays. Let's not get the 3rd bay. Let's just do 2 bays. So they had to put a division there between those 2 bays. That took forever. And then once they did that, it was 2 or 3 weeks, we realized we needed that extra space.
Yeah.
Sorry, just crossing off questions.
Brad P was asking, are you still doing a watch list for folks who are looking for certain sets? So our
Good question.
customer portal that we use for our POS system is Shopify, and they are it's great technology. I mean, it's awesome for e-commerce.
You just said it was a POS.
Yeah, point of sale.
Okay.
So
I was confused.
Yeah, it's a great system that we have, but they've got a notes section for customers, so I could put Brad P is looking for this certain set, but I can't go back and search for that. So yeah, it's terrible, and I keep complaining to them. Hey, your Shopify is like the 2nd or 3rd largest online retailer, and they're great. It's a good company that has all these bells and whistles, but they don't have a way to search through customer files. And so right now, if you're looking for a set, we will write your name and number on a piece of paper and put it on Angie's desk. And it seems very antiquated, but it works.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
As long as that piece of paper ends up on Angie's desk. But Joe, we got a rare set in the other day, and Joe was like, hey, I'm just going to get these papers. I don't know how old they are. I'm going to get these papers. I'm going to start calling. And he found somebody that wanted the set, and he shipped it to him.
Okay.
So, yeah,
I
we
always
will.
tell people to watch our live feeds or twice a week. If you see something in the store, call us right away.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we're doing a live stream tour this afternoon at
Yep.
3.
3 o'clock.
I forgot. Justin was out this past Tuesday. I forgot to do it, and I'm sorry.
We're getting so many new sets and new things coming in the door every single day. If there's something you really want, you're looking for, and it's on your wish list, it's a good idea to watch our live feeds to know what's in the store.
Or call the store.
You can do that too.
I'm the one posting on Facebook right now, and I don't have time, and I'm not even posting these new sets that are coming in.
Chances are, guys, if you see a post that's over 2 to 3 weeks old, that set's gone. So
Yeah,
if
because
you
we're going
want
to
it-
post the coolest stuff.
Exactly.
We're posting the stuff we think is going to move
If you
fast.
want it, you better get it.
I've got
Don't be on the fence with it.
Important viewer question here for Ed.
Yes.
Sacre Brick. What would the menu be if Ed opened his own Lego cafe?
Ooh. A brick filet mignon.
In a cafe, you
Brick
usually
filet.
don't.
Yeah, but
Cafe,
it's-
I think
yeah, it'd be
sandwiches.
coffee
yeah.
and sandwiches.
I'd better
yeah,
answer this
yeah.
question.
Yeah,
it
maybe.
would be smoothies
Okay, yeah.
with protein in them.
Protein smoothies. Yeah.
Protein, vegetables, a little bit of fruit, and then testosterone. And all that mixed up in a smoothie.
We can also inject it to you intramuscularly in the back.
And coffee. Coffee.
Lots of
caffeine and coffee and
Now,
smoothies. And chocolate.
on a podcast, on a previous podcast, you guys did mention in
knows
a
me better than
far
me.
off future, in maybe someday, if we got a different space and the store continues to grow and be successful, you guys would want to open a cafe.
Yeah, I'd love to have a cat. And I hate food. I hate the food business. but I do a cafe in the store.
Coffee smells so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I love smelling. When you're making brewing coffee in the afternoon, it's like, oh, it smells. It just gets you going. And
I would do it in a Lego
I think
store.
coffee and Lego are a good combination.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or bricks and beer.
Yeah, that wouldn't work.
I don't think we would do that. Yeah.
Maybe people would spend more money.
Now, of course, there's so many logistical problems with doing that because
Yeah.
the food license is and keeping stuff clean, and there's a
Well,
lot of logistical
There is
issues.
even with a
it.
cafe and small finger foods like donuts and pies and things like
Yeah.
that. You have to pass an inspection. You got to go through the route,
Yeah.
which is fine, and but it's doable.
There's some things that Ed has always said, hey, we need to get one of these. We need to get one of these. One of those things for the longest time was a popcorn machine. Ed wanted a popcorn machine.
I wanted to sell candy.
Remember when
too.
you used to walk into Target? Now, when you walk into Target, you smell Starbucks.
Yeah.
And I love that smell. But it used to smell like popcorn from their
Little cafe
from their
thing.
little cafe
Yeah.
area, and that's a good smell too. And I think that's what Ed was going after. But could you imagine the grease from popcorn?
Kids eating popcorn and then going into
And
the
touching
pick-a-brick table.
everything and touching the pick-a-brick and touching your minifigures and the glass, and it's like
Nightmare.
yeah. And then he wanted a gumball machine, and I you know where the gum's gonna end up, and candy, and so yeah,
Yeah.
food and Lego aren't the best combination.
No.
No.
No, not at all. We have a good question from Chad. Is it Locks? We'll just say Chad. What are some goals you are working on for the store or the company in the next 2 to 5 years?
We're working on more space. That's the main. It's a little more than 2 years out, but hopefully by that 5 year point, we could have more space.
You know, it's funny when we left that 2,000 square foot store and we got this. I'm thinking, oh man, we're gonna have so much extra shelf space. What are we gonna do? And as we're moving in, we needed more shelf space.
Yeah.
We were like sardines crammed in there, and that's what's happening now.
Lego takes up so much space.
Yeah.
And we don't even have room for birthday parties right now. And we want to have room for birthday parties. We want to have room for like a Lego Masters experience. We want to have room to display mocks.
Yeah.
That might be customers' mocks. Right now we have that big Martin Harris's Quidditch on display. It's like 5 or 6 feet by 3 feet. I would love to display a lot more stuff like that. The problem is it doesn't really make money. It's just cool to see.
Yeah.
You can't put your finger on how much traffic or money that's generating. So it costs money to have that extra space. But there's only so much Lego that we could put out and sell. So 5 years from now, it's our goal to have more space.
So a bigger place or something.
And it won't just be more stuff for sale. It will be more interaction, more things like mocks that move and light up, and things that people can interact with. A racetrack. In fact, I'm talking to somebody right now about buying a racetrack.
You mentioned on a previous podcast something about maybe one day in the far future doing a mini golf. And it's made out of Lego. And
I think
it moves and lights up and stuff.
I think a Lego mini golf
Yeah.
would be great. Yeah.
Yep.
That would be a way to display mocks as well, especially if it was
Yeah.
indoors. You could keep
would
it nice.
It could never be indoors.
Oh, you don't think-
unfortunately.
okay.
It just would cost too much money
Oh,
to
okay.
put something like that inside.
Too much space. It
But
takes
you
up-
can have, if you go to Legoland, Florida, then they have all their mocks outside.
Yeah.
We could come up with a way to display things outside.
Maybe a Lego rocket launch you into the edge of space, and William Shatner can come along. Just an idea.
Each hole could be its own theme.
Yeah.
You got 18 holes in mini golf. Yeah, you got 18 themes you could have.
Yeah.
So
I like it.
yeah.
I love that idea. Is there a store like this everywhere?
That's a common question. People come in that really don't know Lego that well, and they say, "Oh, wow, are these in every city and everywhere?" I would say every city does have an independently owned Lego store.
Not
but
like
they're
us.
they're just different.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them because space is so expensive. That's one of the reasons we're not in Atlanta, because the space would just be too expensive
Yeah.
to be able to make money. But in fact, there have been many Lego stores in Atlanta that have closed down, and it's just too expensive. So space wise, this is more or less one of the few that is this size. There's one I saw an advertisement for. They're trying to raise money for it to be this big, grand, giant Lego store. And I was like, oh, wow, where's this going to be? Idaho. They were looking at making it in Idaho. And the whole building, they're trying to raise money, like crowdfunding, and make the whole building look like a Lego brick. And it's supposed to be this really neat place. But it's just, right now, it's just a concept.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
All right. But there are other Lego resellers, small ones,
Oh, yeah.
all around.
Oh, yeah. I would say every city has one or two independently owned Lego stores.
Okay. Interesting. Frequently asked question. Is Mark here?
Yeah, that's one of the new ones. Ever since he was on that show on TV.
What was that show called? I can't remember. What was it?
Lego
Brickheads or something.
Brickheads. Yeah.
Blockhead.
Lego procrastinators.
And so that's that. Either is Mark here or is that guy from Lego Masters
Yeah, that Lego Master
here?
guy. Is he here?
And
And I tell everybody that, and this isn't true, I tell everybody that I taught them everything they know, which if that was the case, they'd know how to break into a car with a coat hanger.
and frequently asked questions. Talk about frequently asked questions. So when Mark does come out, so Mark works in the back usually, and so when he does come out, it's always the same questions. I hear people, what was it like?
Yeah.
Is the main question.
That we need to do a frequently asked questions with him.
For Mark.
Yeah.
Just for Mark.
Him and Steven.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are all these sets used?
No.
No, yeah, that's a common question. A lot of people will come in and say, "Are these sets used?" And then we explain to them that if it's in its original box and there's no certified pre-owned sticker on it, then it's a new sealed set. It's hard to, that's why our certified pre-owned sticker is so big, and then we just don't even put a set out if we don't know if it's complete in its original box. That's why our graveyard is so full of used Lego sets.
Yeah, we don't like to sell
that are
things that are half
incomplete.
built, put back in the box. That's just not a good way to do business.
When I go to Lego conventions, a lot of vendors will have like a partial set in a bag, and you can't explain to every single customer that set might not all be there.
Yeah.
So it's better off just to not even put it out for sale,
Right.
in my opinion, because in our past experience, customers will bring it back and say, hey, this wasn't all there. Yeah.
Even build sets
Yeah.
that we say are as is.
Yeah.
Some people have come back, which we didn't explain to them well enough, and they'll come back and bring the set, hey, it's missing A, B, C, and D. And then we say, well, it's sold as is. And you didn't explain that to me when when I bought it. So we try to explain to everybody that the sets that are on display are either half of a set, piece of what was once a bigger set, and it's all as is. What you see is what you're getting.
And that leads me into another frequently asked question. How do we inventory sets? How do we make sure they're 100% complete?
How do we inventory sets? So we go to Bricklink and we print out the inventory list, and then we check off each piece
by piece.
We begin by sorting it by color, so that we can go check off all one color, and then at the end we've got a inventory list of what's missing. Then we go look for those parts, and then we complete it. Sometimes we have to order the parts, and then we look for boxes to see if we have the box for it, and then we package it back up so that it's like new. Before it gets inventoried, we have a disassembly room in our basement, and so like if the set needs to be, it might be disassembled already, it just needs to be sorted by color, or it might be built and need to be disassembled. We don't want to, like we were talking about, it's hard to find somebody that's good at inventorying a set. So we don't want to waste their time sorting by color or disassembling something, which most people can do. So we've got a disassembly room down in the basement for people to disassemble sets and get it ready so that when an inventorier goes to inventory that set, they're spending as little time on it as possible. They're just doing the hardest work.
Anakin Skywalker asked if we had the Republic gunship, and I will say contact the store.
They fly in and they fly right out.
Yeah.
No
I don't
pun.
think we do have a Republic
Yeah.
gunship right now. Yeah, they come in and they come out.
We had the
But
UCS Republic gunship for less than a half an hour when it came in the store. No kidding.
What does Anakin Skywalker know about a Republic gunship?
Yeah.
Anyhow.
That's yeah.
Yeah.
And that is interesting what sets we see. I'm going on a tangent here, but it reminds me of certain sets we do see, like new sets. It's not all the time where we see a new set, but then soon after the Coliseum came out, we did get one in.
Yeah.
And it always surprises us, I think, sometimes, or at least it surprises me when we see a brand new set come through the door.
Well, everybody does Lego differently.
Yeah.
So we have some customers who will buy a brand new set, bring it home, put it together, bring it right back, and trade it in for another set. And they know they're losing value on it because they've opened a brand new set and put
Yeah.
it together, but they're buying it just for the experience to put it together and bring it back.
Yeah.
And Lego does take up a lot of space, so it's basically like a puzzle.
Yeah. But there are certain things that has been out for several years and we haven't seen come through the door. The one thing I will say is the Monkey Kid. We've seen very few of those come out, even though it's going on 3 years, I think.
Yeah.
And I have a guess about that, but what's your guess? Why is that?
Well, we talked about this recently on another podcast. I was saying that Monkey Kid doesn't seem to be very popular. And I got that in my head because I don't see the sets sell, but it's also because we don't see them come in. So we don't have the sets to sell. And John corrected me and he said, no, Lego Monkey Kid is really popular and they sell anytime we get them in.
Because people like them and they keep them.
You think that's what it is?
Yes.
I'm wondering if it's a lot less popular in North America, but worldwide, it's a huge seller for Lego. It's just not as popular here.
I don't see them at the stores, the big box stores, as often either. And so I think you're right. It's the availability is not here in the United States.
That could be one variable, but I know there's a lot of sets that we don't see coming in the store because people like them and they keep them.
Now,
Republic gunship.
what is inexplicable is that there's sets that are really hot, and you never see them. When we get them in, they sell right away. One of them is the Ghostbusters Firehouse. We never get those in. You never see them. We probably went over a year without actually getting one in the store. Right now we have two. And we just sold one, and we just sold one right before that. And now all of a sudden they're coming in.
Yeah.
And it's like, why?
Yeah.
Ghostbusters is more popular now than it
Yeah, why are
has
people...
been in a while because the new movie just came out, and apparently it's pretty good. So we have a built one right now, and we have one sealed brand new in the box right now.
There's also like this phenomenon that occurs. It's like a Lego Murphy Law. People come in and say, hey, do you have this set? We're like, no. A day or two later, somebody will come in and trade us that set.
Yeah.
And it's just works. It always works that
And,
way.
and the same thing is we'll have a set for 3 months, and it's a good rare set, and somebody no one buys it, and then somebody will buy it, and then everybody comes in and
Starts asking,
do you have this set? Well, it sat on the shelf for like 3 months and nobody bought it. Now everybody wants it.
Yeah. Lego Murphy Law.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the Titanic to cruise on in here one day.
Another thing with that Murphy's Law is that if you're looking for a part, we could spend hours looking for it, or we could just forget about it and it'll just turn up. It'll just appear on the table. So a lot of times we do have a rule with our inventoriers is you don't waste time looking for parts. If you can't find it, forget about it. Put it on the list. Maybe we'll order it from Bricklink, or it'll just before we even get to that point, we'll just find it sitting somewhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. All right. I have a question. It's not a frequently asked question, but it's something I'm interested in your answer for it. And we'll end the podcast here unless anyone has some questions coming in. We've been on for about an hour. Do you guys see Lego? Well, let me put it this way. Lego is at an all-time high right now. It kind of started with the Lego movie. It's like Lego went into this second golden age. And it's very, very popular. I think it's the #1 toy company in the world right now. Do you ever see the hobby waning or coming back down.
Don't tell them, Chris. Don't tell them.
I don't see it. The only thing that could really halt it is virtual reality and the being able to own Lego sets in the metaverse and build in the metaverse. But at the same time, I don't think you're going to want to have that experience because you're going to want to limit your time in the metaverse because that all that metaverse cannot be good for you.
Well, that and having a physical product, a physical toy is
We're
always
already
going.
in the Matrix.
Staring at a computer screen or any kind of
Yeah.
digital screen is not good for you.
Yeah.
So having something in front of you and being able to focus your eyes on that is good for you.
Yeah.
So and it's also good for your motor skills. That's always going to be there.
Yeah.
So I think that it's going to be around for a lot longer.
Yeah, Lego's timeless. It spans generations, like 3 generations, 4 generations now, and it's going to continue that way. And the cool thing is a Lego piece from today, you can put on a Lego piece from 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And it all comes together. So I don't see an end to it, really. I just see more and more growth and possibilities and just more expansion. Now, collectors are going to have to limit their what they collect, their genre.
Now,
There's gonna be so
I
much.
do have a frequently asked question
Sure.
that I thought it was on my list, and I see everything crossed out here, Justin. You must
I
not
think
have
we
wanted to-
covered. I cut,
I know. I don't think.
or we touched on. No.
Is that your son?
Oh, I cut that out because I thought that was a joke. Who are they
not at
referring
all.
to?
Anybody.
We
any
hear
of
it
the
all
kids.
the time. So people have asked many times, "Am I Ed's son?"
Really?
It's all right. It's all good. It's all good.
It's because he looks like he's in his 20s.
Chris looks like he's in his 20s. I look like I'm in my 70s. So, yeah.
So,
You had children really late in life.
Right.
and then is John my son? Is Joe my son? Is Mark my son? Are they Ed's sons? It's always, is that your son?
Really? I thought that was a joke. That's why.
No, it's a real thing.
Okay.
So that may be one of the most frequently asked
Really? And the
questions.
irony is your son does work here on occasion.
Yes, yeah, but it's never. No one has ever asked, "Is that your son?"
We get, are we twins? Or a
Are
lot
we
of people
brothers,
think
yeah.
if we're brothers
Yeah.
or even the same person.
Yes.
People have confused the two of us.
People have come in
so-
and started talking to me like I'm you,
Yeah.
like I'm Justin, and
Yeah.
I'm like,
Like Michael Jackson and LaToya Jackson kind of thing?
Yes, exactly.
and what's so funny is that you do have it.
I do have an identical twin.
Depending on the status of his facial hair, may look less like you than me.
I can tell you two apart.
There was
Thank you.
There was another one as well. Do you guys buy Lego? I mean, it's like, yeah.
That's why I didn't ask that because I felt like
All day, every day.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, people still ask. Another one is this used to be an antique store, and people walk in the store every day asking, "Is this an antique store?" It's like, well, I mean, kinda. We have some pretty old Lego sets.
Yeah.
But there was one lady that just this week, she walked around the entire store and she almost looked like she was getting ready to come behind the counter. And I said, "Could I help you find something?" And she said, "I'm looking for a jewelry box." And Lego has a Disney Princess jewelry box out right now. And I'm like, well, Lego has a Disney Princess one out right now. Is that something what you're looking for? And she was like, "No, I just want a jewelry box." And I was like, well, here's a Lego Friends heart-shaped box you could put jewelry in. She's like, "No, just like a wooden one." And I'm like, well, no, we don't have anything like that.
Oh, I got one better than
And
that.
I think she was looking for the antique store.
We had a guy, we had a guy call up for brick pavers, and he had an accent. So I thought he meant party favors. And I'm like, well, I mean, we got some Lego party, products. And he goes, no, brick paver. I'm looking for brick pavers. I'm like, brick paver? What the heck's a brick paver? And he's spelling it out, B-R-I-C-K. I'm like, yeah, paver, P-A-V-E-R, paver. I'm like, oh, dude, you're looking for mortar.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, yeah, aren't you a brick store? I'm like, sir, how did you hear about us? And he goes, well, I found you on the internet. I go, okay, you're looking at the internet now? Scroll down.
Yeah.
And he starts laughing, and I start laughing. I told him, I said, we can't call ourselves a Lego store because, the industry term is brick. So some people mistaken us for
Yeah.
a brick company that sells actual bricks.
Yeah.
So that
And I
It's
think
kinda funny.
every single employee has experienced that's answered the phone because it does happen every week and sometimes more than others. And I've even had 5 minute long conversations with people about looking for, hundreds of this brick in this color,
in this color.
hundreds of this brick in this color. And I'm like, yeah, these are kind of odd color names. Are you talking about light bluish gray? And stone gray. Okay, I've heard it called stone gray
Yeah.
before. And it turns out after all this time, they're looking for real bricks.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a frequently asked question.
All right. I think we're good.
Cool.
Any other questions you guys want to throw out there? I've got all mine done. It looks like the audience has theirs. Their burning questions answered.
We thank you guys for watching, and we thank you guys for keeping us where we're at, because we wouldn't be here without our fans and our customer support base.
Absolutely.
So, thanks a lot, y'all.
Yeah, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. And I think everyone on the chat's probably subscribed. But if you're watching this after the fact, please consider subscribing if you are not. That helps us out a lot. And check out some of our other videos if you haven't. We've referenced a lot of videos here. We do set reviews. We do everything here. So check us out.
Dan, we do have a Sonic the Hedgehog. Justin is going to do a live stream tour this afternoon. So anything you guys are looking for, you can tune in at 3 p.m. Eastern time to see that every Friday and Tuesday.
Yep.
You want them, you better get them.
Yeah, with the new set coming out, it's...
I think people are going to want the old one because it's the
Yeah.
variant.
Yeah,
And they're
it's.
gonna want-
I think the price is going to go up, and I think they're going to be gone.
The new set's not going to be the same hedgehog. It's going to be
Yeah.
a different hedgehog.
Yeah.
And
So-
Brad, we will look into getting a better connection.
We've got to, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We will see you guys later. Here's to another 50.
Wow.
Another
baby.
50 between the studs. All right. We'll see you. Thank you.